No, they have glasses.
Yeah, well, of course.
Yeah, the fact that he wants to stare.
Yeah.
All the dreams, they all managed to not like 2 minutes.
It's because they had those things that were holding their eyes open.
Or in the entire intro song.
There was me.
There we go.
That is Alex. And my 3 droogs. That is Pete, Georgie, and Dim. And we sat in the Kurova milk bar trying to make up our Razudos what to do with the evening.
Well, he's right.
It's Pete.
The Kurova milk bar sold Milk Plus Velicet, or Centemesk, or Drencrum, which is what we were drinking. This would sharpen you up and make you ready for a bit of the old ultra-violence.
That's it. There's that
Yay!
intro. Thank you for bearing with us. Quite long intro, actually, on Question Block there.
Ooh, what was that?
That's our little speaker turning off.
Wow.
Yeah, we're on all the things.
Yes.
So that's cool. Oh yeah, we got some viewers too.
Hey, welcome to Question Block.
This is Question Block.
Yeah.
For those of you just tuning in because you're screaming through, compulsively refreshing election results on Instagram or Facebook, just saying, there's no new results getting released until 9 p.m. So you can hang out. This will kill some time.
Then when we go pee, you can check again, and then you can come back.
You've got an hour until new results come out for Georgia and Nevada at 9. So take a load off. Take it easy. And let's talk about dystopian.
Let's talk about dystopian fiction, which is, it's appropriate.
So this here is A Clockwork Orange. Yes, we figured it'd be appropriate regardless.
Yeah.
It's always time for dystopian fiction.
Always, yeah, because...
And milk.
And milk, yeah. So what are you drinking?
I'm drinking here some, Moloko Plus.
Moloko Plus what?
What is it? The Moloko Sin...
There's synth mesk, which I think is, I think that's like mescaline.
Yeah.
So that'll make you hallucinate. And then there's...
Drencrom.
Drenchcom. Make your pussy wet.
He doesn't tell you what the other cons do.
And then there's another one somewhere, I think maybe behind your head.
No.
Hey, Erica, what's up? We're talking about dystopian fiction.
Yeah.
Or reality.
Or realities. But, so we're dressed like a Clockwork Orange, but The Hunger Games falls in this category.
Blade Runner.
Decent amount of science fiction.
Handmaid's Tale.
Minority Report.
Animal Farm.
Oh yeah, Animal Farm.
1984, 1985, all the years.
Where the Wild Things Are.
Curious George.
Could you imagine living in a world with violent?
Can you imagine being a monkey that's enslaved?
Yeah. Curious George is dystopian. Truly.
It is. He's a prisoner, and it's like reverse Animal Farm. They dress him up.
They do. It's reverse Animal Farm. They make him act like.
They give him ether.
They do drug him.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks like Moloko Plus.
Well,
yeah. So we're going to talk about some behind the scenes info, I guess, about the writing of those various stories, and how they became movies, or how the movies differed from the books, and then we're gonna guests come up with their own dystopian fiction. Yeah,
or do a 1 minute hate.
Oh yeah, from 1984.
I think they did a 5-minute hate.
They do a 5-minute hate, which sounds exhausting.
We don't have time for that.
We don't have time for that. But we could do a 1-minute hate.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, do you want to give them an example?
See, mine's going to be saucy, whereas the 1-minute hate was just a pure fit of rage. It was more like a Trump rally, I guess, in the book.
Get mad, you know? Let me, here.
Oh, man, what am I even mad about right now?
Ooh, it's so weird. I pulled up my stopwatch, and it's just 9:11 and 59 seconds.
That is fascinating.
That's very oh, Fahrenheit 451.
Speaking of numbers. Yeah, Fahrenheit 451 is a good one.
Which, well, I had never heard of it, or I never, like, heard the plot of it or whatever, and when we like, researched it, I was like, that sounds not that good.
And it's not that good. A lot of the dystopian fiction novels suffer from what a lot of sci-fi novels suffer from, where they're very much novels about ideas, but they're not often, like, not great. Sorry, science fiction as a genre. They're not great stories, and they don't necessarily have well-rounded, like, three-dimensional characters. So, like, everybody in Fahrenheit 451 kind of acts like a single-minded robot with, like, a certain thing, right? And
but they're not robots.
The protagonist is, like, a tool, and you don't really care about him. This is true in a lot of these.
Oh, I thought you meant it's, like, an actual, like, the fire. The protagonist is fire.
Oh, he's fire. No, what's his name? Guy Montag, I think is his name. A lot of them have really silly character names. Which is, like,
if you really think about it, what if...
I think Guy Montag.
What if...
No, is it? No, it's...
What if the whole world... Oh, yeah, we can do...
It is Montag. Anyway, just a little bit of trivia. If you can hold on for a second.
I can't.
Mocking British people...
I'm wearing a bowler hat. Come on.
Guy Montag. Because Montag in German means Monday. So he's like the rebirth. Yeah.
But he's also everyone's least favorite day.
Some Fahrenheit 451 trivia for all you Fahrenheit 451 heads out there.
I don't know if that's trivia. If you read the book.
You also know why it's called Fahrenheit 451? That's the temperature at which paper spontaneously combusts.
That's okay. That's
pretty cool. I mean, that's a cool name. I'll give him that. That was anyway. Ray Bradbury, great author of, like, ideas, but and some of his novels very good. But Fahrenheit 451. Not great character.
I was going to say we should also do, like, Black Mirror premises.
Black Mirror,
make up our own Black Mirror premises. That's why I was like...
A wealth of dystopian
If you really think about it, what if the whole world were lesbians, but they all had to have long nails? Just, like, really... Yeah, like, unfleshed out.
Really?
That is literally what Black Mirror is, though.
Could you imagine? Wouldn't it be horrible if that were the case?
What if you use your phone for everything?
What if your phone could make food? what if your mate was a television? How about that?
Yeah. Oh my God.
What if your dog plugged in to, like, a wall? Would that be? If you think about it, it'd be bloody horrible, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? It's pretty dystopian, huh? Hey?
It's like a mirror, but it's black. What if all the mirrors did have a reflection?
What if you was on one live stream on the Instagram, but you had to type on a computer to be on the other fucking live streams because you can't do them all together?
Topical.
Would not that be the worst of all worlds?
It's so topical.
Wouldn't it be terrible?
What if you blew a
One True Villain MS, though, over in the on the Twitch stream, did just send us some really phenomenal cat emojis.
Oh my God.
Those are some gorgeous cats.
Yeah, those are beautiful cats.
Here's our secret Loft custom emojis.
Wow.
Let's send those back.
Wow.
Nice cats. Nice pussy.
So, yeah.
Oh yeah, do you want to give an example of, like, a 1-minute hate?
You put it back on me.
Yeah, because
I want you to do it. I think it'll be funnier.
All right, I'll hate something.
We'll start you with 30 seconds. We'll each do a 30-second one.
All right,
okay?
I'm gonna do it kind of like, I don't think so, honey. 1-minute hate, honey.
Well, 30 seconds. All right,
30
go.
seconds. Election result anxiety. This is bullshit because it's not really. It's just going to affect my life at some point in the future, based in a very indirect way on, like, what my taxes are, or you know, hopefully nothing like that drastic will happen is the outcome, right? But instead, the amount of keyed up and anxiety about it, especially a thing where you're powerless to actually change the results of it, because like I have no impact on it. It's just me refreshing a browser. It's in itself, it's a dystopian reality now, isn't it? And so I hate that. I hate that, like, I was staying up late. I feel compelled to drink for a bunch of events that I really like. I voted, yesterday, and I'm done with it. And now I could go protest, but like, other than that, it's kind of limited political power I've got here. So it's real.
That's a minute.
I really hate it.
See, you didn't think you had that much.
I'm all like worked up over it,
Yeah. Do you want me to do one?
Wait,
yeah. Dr. Wires is like talking to the people on. This is my 1 minute hate. He's always talking to people on Twitch.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm kidding. Hi, one true villain.
This software we've been using, unfortunately, it like cuts out a lot of the Facebook comments and other stuff too. So I just lost the Twitch
Dr. Wires
chat,
is like checking all the chats.
I try to be a good host, That's really the least I can do.
Do you want me to do 1 minute?
Yeah. Why don't you hit on something for
dun, dun, dun. Here you go.
Didn't
Ooh. Okay.
You could.
Yeah, you ended up doing 1 minute.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
I just repeated myself halfway through it, to be fair. It really was 2 30-second hates. Ready, set, hate.
Alright, so I hate that like my face isn't symmetrical because it makes doing my makeup so annoying. And I know that like my eyebrow, your eyebrows are supposed to be like cousins and not sisters or something like that. But it's just really annoying. I wish that everything could be symmetrical because it would just make life so much easier. Like it would make like I don't even think t-shirts are symmetrical because like when you try folding them, it never works out. Like why don't both halves like ever match up? It's really, really annoying. And then, it makes like also my 1 minute hate is that I'm hating on something and Dr. Wires, he's not invested.
You're talking to your mom.
Oh, okay. Well,
she named a bunch of dystopian
and listen
fictions.
up. You know what? Things not being symmetrical, that really sucks.
Asymmetrical things.
Also, yeah, asymmetrical things. I started with my face and I'm going outward into the world. Like, I feel like everything should be symmetrical, especially the setup. It's bothering me.
That is 1 minute.
There you go.
I have to defend it. Some certain asymmetrical things, like screws, pretty useful. That's about it.
No, I just mean to look at. Like, I just mean things that you have to like look at and like match up. It's so frustrating. Like the milk, our milk isn't like when I was pouring the milk, it was like it kept getting weird.
Your mom is telling us about some
and
Canopus and Argos archives.
And just come on the actual
dystopian fictions.
Hey, Preston.
I know
so apparently Preston's like a expert in dystopian
yes,
fashion.
Studied dystopian fashion. So we'll talk. We have some great guests about our dystopian. Well, this isn't a dystopia at all.
So wait, so if I were to make a dystopian like world, see here's how dystopia begins. Let's just do a quick rundown. You start by trying to make a utopia, which means something that cannot exist because some like half of the word utopia means like it means like non-place, like place that can't exist.
The Latin root of like our word utopia actually means no place.
Right. And so
that's some good trivia.
Yeah. So that's how you start making a dystopia is
if you did the opposite of that?
Well, no, that's how all dystopias start, is that someone's like, I've had enough. They start with a 1 minute hate, and then it turns into, like...
Don't know about that.
Book burning. Well, I'm just simplifying it for our guests because they might have to come up with their own dystopia. So, like, for me, if I were to create a dystopia, I would start with trying to create my utopia of symmetrical things, and then none of my screws would work, and I'd be fucked. I'm giving an example, you know?
Sure, that's like a specific... Sure, I could see that.
Yeah,
that's
agree, yes and me.
That's like the warning.
Be part of my dictatorship.
The warning dystopia where they're like, you might think this is good, but what if?
Exactly.
Everything.
And for you, maybe you wouldn't be stressed about elections. You'd be like, no elections ever, and then you'd be a democratic socialist.
No,
oh, wait, you already are.
A lot of dystopias, like Idiocracy or whatever, they're just like, it was just pissing off Mike Judge that, like, dumb people breed at a faster rate than smart people.
You're gonna need to start sanding me if you want to join my dictatorship of awesomeness.
And sorry, I wasn't knocking all of sci-fi as a genre, although
the
novels you're talking about, you
need to come on and go live with us on Instagram.
If you want to go live with us,
talk.
Instagram is the way to do it.
If you want to talk with us, you got to go on Instagram for like long back and forth because we can't.
I'll just keep doing
it's too distracting.
Just keep typing over here.
So before we go with our first guest, let's do a rundown of Clockwork Orange real quick.
Okay.
We'll like intersperse our guests with like rundowns.
And if you can hop over to the Instagram, then we'll.
And then we'll take.
Then we can chat in person there. But
so Clockwork Orange is one of my favorite movies. I think the movie is way better than the book. Book is by Anthony Burgess.
And the movie
is by Stanley Kubrick.
Kind of directed by Stanley Kubrick, and he had an adaptation, but for the most part, Stanley Kubrick at first did not like the book by Anthony Burgess, and then came around on it, and then by the end of like filming, they basically were just using the book as the screenplay, and the actors would actually just carry around copies of the book instead of the adaptation screenplay.
Which I kind of doubt that because I feel like that was like a whatever. This is semantics, but I feel like Stanley Kubrick is such a controlling like person. I feel like he wouldn't allow that.
Yeah, maybe.
But
yeah. So that it follows. Burgess wrote it. And whole body of work was like a prolific author, but he wrote it actually as like towards the end of his life in a quick sprint. Towards
what he thought was the end of his life. This is the real kicker. He wrote the book because he thought he had like a year to live, and he's like, I just want to leave my family with some shit, and it's like about like some money, you know, just like a little bit of money.
He wrote it in 3 weeks because he had been living out of the country. When he returned to the UK, the youth culture had gotten like really more violent and crazier. And
but also he wanted to like let his kids know that like they shouldn't be assholes when he died.
So that was a dystopia based on something he didn't like in British culture.
Right. Yeah. Well, but he wrote it, and then they were like, "Psych, you're gonna live." And then people were like, "Yo, this is like your best book," and he was like, "No, wait, no, that was my throwaway novel." And people like that's literally like the only book that people know of his. Do you know any other books of his?
No.
Yeah, and you know a lot of books, so. But it follows the story of Alex DeLarge, and he's like a 15-year-old.
We don't have to go chapter for chapter. It's divided
into three
parts, right?
General. Yo.
What's the first part?
I'm not talking about 3 parts. I'm just saying it follows the adventures of Alex DeLarge. He's like a gangster. He does a lot of really heinous crimes with his gang, and then Part one.
That's part 1. Then
he gets in trouble. We are going to have you hop on our video in a moment.
We can just...
No. We have to finish it. We have to finish the Clockwork Orange.
We've all seen a Clockwork Orange.
No. We have to finish.
Real
quick.
Just your summary.
Oh, you're killing my ADHD right now. I'm trying to focus. All right. So, Alex DeLarge, he commits a lot of really crazy crimes. He ends up killing someone by accident. His gang friends that are supposed to be his friends, they turn on him. They let him get like... See? Thank you. Okay, let me finish. Right. It's real quick. It's going to contextualize all this and the eyelash and everything. It's your fault because you distract me.
Okay, so we're about halfway.
All right, so his friends turn on him, just like what's happening right now. He gets arrested. He goes to jail, and then he beats up one of like his prison mates, and they're like, "Damn, we better try this social experiment on him. This like experimental technique called the Ludovico technique."
Mm-hmm.
So the one like nice thing about Alex is that he loves Beethoven, and it's like his favorite thing, his favorite music to listen to. So they give him this medicine that that makes him really sick, and then they hold his eyes open with these like things, and they force him to watch like very violent films. The problem is the films have like a Beethoven soundtrack for some reason, and so he's like Pavlovianly conditioned to feel like really sick when he thinks about violence, but also when he hears Beethoven, which sucks. So then he like gets out. He's in these streets, but he keeps getting like beaten up because he can't defend himself. And then he tries to commit suicide, and everyone part three he tries to commit suicide. He's like, I can't take it anymore. And they like undo the technique on him, and then he's like, I was back. And that's the American ending. In the British version, there's like another chapter where he's kind of like, yeah, I can commit violence again and enjoy Beethoven, but I kind of am over that. And it's like a very anticlimactic, dumb ending.
Well, like, Trainspotting kind of copied that ending, where your like kind of villain protagonist or whatever, your anti-hero like decides that he'll become good.
Yeah.
Or whatever, and settle down. But Burgess added that because his publisher, the editor encouraged him to put a happier ending on it. He did. And then for the American release, they're like, yeah, you don't need that extra chapter. Americans are cool with
No, that's how he ended it in London, and then in
his
America.
Editor made him.
Oh, really?
His editor suggested.
I thought it was the other way around, and
Americans actually got the version that the author originally intended.
And that's how the Kubrick movie ends. And all the like fashion that we have, minus, well, we could have cod pieces on. You just can't see them right now. Yes. That's thanks to Malcolm McDowell, who played Alex DeLarge, because he would just do stuff and like he was wearing his cricket uniform one day, and Kubrick was like, yeah, that's what we're gonna have everyone wear. That's the outfit of the gangsters. And then he also like,
what if you wear the cup on the outside of the cricket uniform?
Yeah, I could show you what that looks like later. I brought some stuff. And also he was like messing around with this eyelash, and yeah, Kubrick was also like, yeah, do it.
Good look.
Good looks.
Yeah, Kubrick very much loved him for the part though too, and like did give him some freedom, I guess, in defining the character and how he acted out.
Yeah, he was the only one that he wanted. Like he was like, if I can't have Malcolm McDowell, I will have no one.
So, for example, the bit where he's singing in the rain, while they force a writer who's writing a book called A Clockwork Orange. They force the writer to watch while they gang rape his wife. And he's screaming, singing in the rain at the top of his lungs. He did impromptu because Kubrick was like,
can you do something cute? He was like, while you're beating the crap out of like this woman, can you be cuter?
Well, he was like, I want it to be more chaotic but more surreal. What can you do?
My mom goes, yay!
What can you do to give me that feeling of more chaotic and more surreal? Well, because like if you guys are just quietly gang raping a woman while beating up her husband and holding him down, can't film that. The censors aren't going to let that go.
That scene though it's weirdly like it's really hot to me, like, because they cut out the woman has like a red dress and they cut out these circles, and it's so like smooth the way that they like the dress must have been like some 70s like weird stretchy material, and it's like so they cut these perfect like circles out, and it's just like very I don't know, it's a very like aesthetically pleasing movie.
It's a really gorgeous film. Yeah,
it's so, and also that he really emphasizes that everything like white is bad, like milk and the like outfits and everything. Like the white outfits and the white milk and like the, you know, that it's very sinister. And it's also like they used a lot of like daylight they used all like natural lighting because it was a very low budget film.
So a little more of the context too. This is after A Space Odyssey 2001 had come out, which at the time it came out was like the most expensive film ever produced, and so and it had been sort of, and because that was a very arty film as well. Like I don't know, I guess Kubrick had been criticized, or people were talking shit about like he throws money away on crazy sets and everything else, and
on chimpanzees.
Basically like Waterworld later, when it was like this really expensive dumb movie. Except it wasn't, but so Kubrick was like, "I'll show them. I'm gonna shoot an amazing movie that's very cheap." So it's all practical effects. All the actors do their own stunts.
He really did push.
Yeah, and still a gorgeous movie.
His droog into the channel or whatever.
So can now
let's go live. Let's go live. Now that we have all the context. All right, so I wonder if we could go live with both of them. Be like both.
Can you? What if you click both of them? Or does it only do one?
Ooh.
I don't think so. Yeah, we don't have
okay.
We don't have the bandwidth for that.
Okay, there we go. We're sending a request. We're receiving a request. Hello! Hi!
Hey.
How's it going?
It's all right. I love your mother's yay. That was...
Yeah, she said yay right when I was like, that like rape scene was very aesthetically pleasing. She was like, yay!
She's like, yay!
She said yay for your summary. She liked your book summary.
Oh,
okay. Your movie report.
My movie report.
It was you know what? I've never seen it. I've never seen the movie. I know and people say, like, I watch a lot of sci-fi. I thought I did. And then it wasn't about that.
No.
Yeah.
First off, Mom, I would like to say you have raised an amazing daughter.
Oh.
So that's number one. Number two, your mother's a ninja. I mean, I can't say it. She's a purple ninja. That's amazing.
She is, yeah. That is her. That's her. Yeah. We actually used to have in our kitchen. This is thanks to my dad, who might be watching on Twitch or something, because Clockwork Orange is one of his favorite movies. He used to dress like Alex every year for Halloween.
You had a ninja.
We had a little like picture of Alex Delarge drinking milk in our kitchen growing up, and I just like grew up with him. I was like, oh hey, there's that guy that looks like my dad's Halloween costume drinking milk. And it made sense because it was in the kitchen where you would drink milk.
But the milk was laced with drugs.
I don't know. I was just like, there's a guy with a long eyelash,
It's actually dope.
Yeah, because you said white was bad in the movie, so...
Yep,
I need to watch it now. And also, Mom, parents need to take more credit for their kids when they're amazing. When they're horrible, you say, I tried my best.
Yeah.
Okay? So you have an amazing daughter. Stop it. Don't be, you're the best mom. You're the best mom that she knows, right?
Yeah, she's also a big fan of you. She watched, I think, one of the question blocks where it was the book summary one, and she was like, "That was great."
Oh, thank
you,
Mom. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I think. There's so many movies that, like, my friends gave me so many movies to watch one day, and I was just like, I can't. It's just too much things on, Like, it's just, my brain is already overfried. And I always heard about the rape scene in it, and I don't know if it was that. Well, I'm like, and it also seemed like it's long. How long is that movie?
It's like 2 hours long.
It's about 2 hours. It originally...
Plus, right? Yeah.
They said it originally was 5 hours.
Yeah.
When they filmed it. And then, Stanley Kubrick was like, but I love all of it. So he had to hire a team of, like, assistants. He was like, cut it down. So they cut it down to 2 hours, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then he burned all the extra footage.
Why?
That they had cut out, so that nobody could ever do a remake or an extended version or anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was dirty. He should have left that, because that would have been, I think that there's so many things left on cutting room floors, and also people's careers change. You might have had someone in the movie that winds up being like super famous. So it's like, yeah, just keep that shit. Like I was listening to, this is a weird side thing, but like I was listening to Busta Rhymes' new album, and he has like "Old Dirty Bastard" on it.
Yeah.
And it's like so good, Like, cause I've been in. I think we've all been in. Well, not everyone, but I think most people have been in like a booth somewhere, and you start saying shit on a microphone that will never be used.
Yeah. And Busta Rhymes.
And Busta Rhymes went and was like, I think Goldie said, I want to use my smooth shit. He was singing in the mic first. He's like, I want to do my new smooth shit, but I don't have it memorized yet.
Nice.
And it was like,
and they kept it.
And it's real. And that's what's special about art. Even you're being an artist when you don't even know you're being an artist.
Yeah, that's so true. Well, yeah, I mean, that was like Malcolm McDowell in the actor in Clockwork Orange. Yeah, when he was singing, he basically ruined the like purity of Singing in the Rain. I think Gene Kelly met him later on and was like, "How dare you, my beautiful song!" And someone was like, "Why did you choose that song?" And he was like, "Because it represents like happiness and joy."
Yeah.
And I wanted people to know, he's singing it he's doing like terrible. But that's, he didn't know that he was being iconic, but he was.
Yeah, and I wonder how, when they went to clear it, they were like, hey, we're using this song in the movie. Don't worry about take the money.
I think they cleared it for $10,000 the next day, and I don't think they were specific. I think they were just like, Kubrick was like, "Can we use a song in this movie?"
Yeah, and he was like, "We won't use your recording or anything. One of the actors is going to sing it like during a scene. It's not even the main thing that's happening in the scene. Don't worry about it." And they're like, "Oh, all right." Well, he's just saying to himself while he's walking around. Okay.
Well, because he's singing it. That's what gets him caught later. In the I don't know if it's in the book, he's singing it, so the guy who he ties up and whose wife it is, that guy rescues him later in the future when he's like defenseless. And he's like, "Oh, why don't you like take a bath and like clean yourself up?" And Alex just starts singing in the rain in the bathtub, and like the guy is like, "Oh my God," like he's freaking out. He he recognizes his voice, and not like him, which is weird because he doesn't look like that different. Yeah, he's kind of like, you think that you never forget that face, but yeah, he's like, "No."
The face wasn't the thing that got it. It was like, it's the voice.
It's the voice in that song, that beautiful song.
So we're doing, if you want, we're doing from
sing in the rain. What a glorious feeling, I'm happy.
Yeah.
I was gonna do
so weird.
A Woman I Hate.
Yeah, why don't you have your mom on the show? Why don't you have your mom on?
We will. Oh yeah, we are gonna discuss.
We will. We've got one more thing for you. We've got another activity, which is from 1980 in the book 1984. They're using like basically politics as a way to like control people and direct their like emotions to something. So they have a 5-minute hate at work in the morning. You spend 5 minutes hating the country your country's at war with, and like they show pictures of their like president. Everybody's like screaming and going crazy. So we're gonna do a 1-minute hate, or even 30 seconds. If you want to just rant about something,
about anything,
get it off your chest for 30 seconds. You can.
Or
It doesn't have to be serious.
I ranted
be when
about
you stubbed
things,
your toe. It could be whatever.
I said I ranted about things that things not being perfectly symmetrical. That was my what I have a lot of hate in my heart for like non-symmetry today.
You know what? Then I'll go ahead and say, and I'll let people know. Like, I mean, I don't know who knows me on here, but cracks and walls are like weird things used to make me itchy.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would become seriously itchy. Like if I saw a crack and I looked at it, it would make me itchy to the point like scratching my body itchy, not just and like really weird shapes and things of that nature. It would make me super itchy. Mm-hmm. So I don't know when it stopped. Technically, I don't know if it was maybe after Sebastian, but like literally, it was until I was like into my like early 30s, definitely. Sometimes I see one and it'll still make me really itchy. I don't know what it is. I looked it up before, but then I didn't want to look it up because then it was see stuff and then I would still get itchy. Talking about it right now is making me a little itchy. So I'm ranting on itchy cracks, like fix your walls, people.
Fix your walls.
Fix your ceilings. I don't know what it was. Like it really was something that like, and when I looked it up, it had all these other things with it. Like don't post that. Don't trigger me. That's the first time I was like, I understand how people get triggered now. Wow. Because I didn't understand trigger culture. That's not a thing, but I'm gonna say that trigger.
Yeah, no, yeah. It is. It's a thing.
So you've been getting triggered by cracks in walls. Yeah.
Not recently, but I'm saying in my past when I was young, up to 30 something, like my son laughed at me. But sometimes even when I talk about it or if I remember something along those lines, it'll make me itchy. Like I said, right now it's making
me itchy. Along those lines. Get it along those lines?
But like right now, like even talking about it is making me a little itchy. And it's so weird and crazy because it's like, why? Why is this making me itchy? No. It's a mental condition. So
I get that. No,
so my son is 13. Anna of Chelsea.
Yeah,
Anna of Chelsea. Oh,
it's Anne of Chelsea.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to read it.
She's like a duchess.
Yeah.
A lady.
Anne of Chelsea. Oh,
yeah, she's Anne of Chelsea.
There we go.
Yeah, she's like Anne. Yeah, no, I get, and that wall behind you is so smooth. Like it's reflecting the light. You have like a little halo because it's so smooth.
Yeah. You know, it's one of those things like I've been in this apartment since 2009. It's a co-op in the Harlems, and I've never painted. The walls are great. Like, I don't know. I don't want to put anything on the wall. It's a weird, I mean, I have friends coming here who are like, they want to do stuff on the wall. I'm like, I don't know. Because I said if there's a leak or something and then the art is messed up and then I'm going to be itchy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, that's things not being symmetrical. That was I'm like, I wish that things would just be, they would just match. Like when you fold a piece of paper, it would just like 100% go right down the middle and you wouldn't have to like center. It's like, why doesn't everything just want to be centered, you know?
Yeah, no, you know what? I don't know what it is from. I don't know because your mother saying decorating things. I do about my house. Like I work in some of the most fanciful hotels in the world. You know, I worked at the Waldorf Astoria. I worked at the Mark Hotel.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah, so two of the fancier hotels, and I love. Like, that was my job. My job was, well, not at the Mark, but at the Waldorf Astoria. My job was to go in and match up furniture. So I'm like, oh, this is French furniture. Oh, this is like the presidential suite. Let me put this in here. This matches. Dealing with fabrics. Like,
awesome.
That was my job for so many years. So I love all of that stuff. I just don't like shit on the walls.
Yeah, it's... No, because you want that uninterrupted you want that canvas.
Yeah, and if I do have something, it's like I like in the presidential suite, they had like little, like the walls are all kind of padded in there.
Yeah.
Because old school hotels, like, you know, the expensive had padded walls for whatever reason. With amazing, expensive ass fabric too, you know,
yeah.
And like, yeah, I think maybe I'll get something like that, but then also, like, if there's a leak, then there's a stain on your wall. You know, it's like, oh.
Yeah. Well, you should, if you just look up, like, you should check out some of the interiors from A Clockwork Orange, because Alex's bedroom is super cool. Like his bedroom, and then if you look up the record shop interior, his bed has all the. It's like a 3D comforter. I don't know if they're like these. It's so cool. It's like these little like the blanket has like 3D like little pyramids. It's really like, but it's like very like 70s colors too, and it's. Yeah, if you just watch, I would say look up the interior and then watch maybe like just the opening.
I'm gonna watch the movie. Watch the movie. Is it on anything for free now?
You can get it on YouTube. You can download it on YouTube, I think, and you can watch it double speed. So you can kind of have it on in the background, and you can watch it. You know,
it's a good way to watch a movie and not enjoy watching the movie.
Well, I mean, just if you want to just get it in your brain. You know, you can...
Yeah, no, I mean, see, that's the weird part about me, because, like, my son, he's always saying to me, like, I like to watch things from the beginning so I can, like, have a full understanding and sit there and watch it and then analyze it and then be like, why did I waste my time or energy with this?
Yes.
And even if it's a series, I'm still like, I don't know why I'm watching this series. You know what I mean?
Gotta complete it. Yeah.
Yeah. Boo you too, Marlena. I miss you and I love you too, Marlena.
That's funny with a Clockwork Orange, because there's the famous like sex scene after he meets a girl in the record store that's already sped up.
Yeah, there is. It's to the what is it? It's like that song that's like and he's like, it's like 20. I think it's like 15 minutes, but it's like
28 minutes that they sped up to like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Of
and he's just
the protagonist, having sex with 2 teenage girls.
But he's a teenager also, so
yeah, he's also but hooking up with these girls and doing a bunch of drugs in his parents' apartment.
Too, so it's cool.
Yeah, I mean they're all teenagers. They're just it's very like he feigns being sick to the William Tell overture. Yeah, that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But that so that will be super fast.
So you watch that double speed.
It would just be like. That's it. Yeah. They just, orgy, just done.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just good. It's just good to know that you can watch things in double speed. Just teaching us that our brains are like, we don't like the things anymore.
Yeah. So I think you can download it off of YouTube, and if you can't DM me, and I'll give you a YouTube.
You got the link.
I got like a link for it, so I can give that. I can.
She got the links.
The links. I got the links for Clockwork Orange. Yeah. So before
let's get Anne of Chelsea.
Yeah, we'll get Anne of Chelsea. Are there any like dystopian? So like, I don't know, dystopian books or movies or series that you.
First off, I'm not into big words. I don't even know what dystopian means.
Dystopian is like, do you know what utopian is? Like a utopia? So utopia is like a paradise that like is in means
utopia. No, I know what utopia
right?
is, yeah.
So a dystopia
is not that.
Is like
a fucked up world.
The opposite. Yeah.
Everything's bad.
So like
fucked up world.
Like 12 Monkeys.
Yeah.
Dystopia.
Or like Lord of the Flies, Animal Farm, Black Mirror, Twilight Zone.
Black Mirror.
Well, depending on Twilight Zone. Many of them are set in the modern.
I would say that if it was something like that, then I would guess.
The Matrix is a dystopian movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I guess I would go with Bird Box then, right? Is it Bird Box?
Yeah. Bird Box, yeah. Dystopian, like, creatures that will...
That's a pretty...
They'll eat you if you look at them.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like...
Yeah.
It's like the end of the world. Even at the end of the movie, it's kind of like, motherfuckers, I'm out here waiting for y'all. So that's...
You can't even escape even in the usually dystopias are like the apocalypse, it'll all be over, but this is like no.
Yeah, and we just never know where this thing even came from. Was it something from the earth cleansing itself? Was this some kind of alien?
Very topical. Right.
Yeah, we just don't know. And I think that's a part of it too that was scary for me, or like not annoying, but yeah, like scary for me to think, because, there's so many things we don't know about Earth. We've been here for billions of years. Well, not us humans, but the planet's been here for billions of years.
Yeah.
And we truly act like we're the only things that have been here before, Mm-hmm. I'm like, there could have been another civilization here before that has been melted into the core of the earth. And, we don't know.
That's the scariest thing, is that we don't know the only place that we live on.
Yeah, and the sea, like,
true.
Come on,
the sea is vast.
You go into the deep sea, there's all those crazy alien-looking fish, that live in the deep,
Yeah, they're like, woo, I have a light.
Really can't even go to.
You're like, what?
Yeah, but to be fair, those fish are probably like, what do you think is up there?
Yeah.
And they're like, it's probably crazy. It's probably insane up there. We don't even know.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. So that's why I say, like, when I watch movies like that, I'm just like, we don't even know what's down beneath us, the true Atlantis, or, is the world upside down? Was the world upside down at one point? I don't even know what that means.
Sci-fi is exploring these themes and concepts for you through fiction.
Yeah.
Yes, so that you don't have to through life.
So you don't have to experience it. Somebody can think about it.
So yeah, Clockwork Orange. DM me if you need the password. Let's get Anne on here to talk about some female dystopias.
Oh yeah, let's get some female dystopianism up in here.
Yeah. Bye. Let's remove him. All right, there we go. All right, he left. I love how it's like remove the person and then it's like they left. There we go.
No, yeah, they gotta let you know.
Oh, you declined. And Chelsea declined. She's like, no. She's like, no, I don't want to go live with you. We'll start, and we would love for you to go live with us. We'll start talking about Handmaid's Tale.
Okay.
Because, and then if you want to, or if Preston you want to.
The Handmaid's Tale. Oh, yeah.
Is it a Handmaid's?
No, it's the.
So, yeah, if anyone, Preston or Andy, want to go live.
It's not one of many Handmaid's Tales. There's only the one. The Handmaid's Tale. What about that tale? I mean, probably everybody knows about the series and is pretty familiar with
I don't know.
Plot, right?
Well, no, I don't think so. That's why we're doing this. Otherwise, there'd be no point in being like, well, you're familiar. Okay, bye.
Well, I'm not here to popularize the Handmaid's Tale. I'm just
all right,
here to,
we'll put a pin in that. Let's go live with. Yes, I'm so excited for this to work. Yeah,
it's like also decline.
Yeah, he's still there.
No, oh my gosh, it's gonna work.
Yes, it worked.
Oh my goodness. This time.
We want it. Yes. No, Preston is like an expert on dystopias and fashion, which is like, what's happening right here? Yeah.
Not so much an expert, just a hobbyist, really. And I just kind of fell into it with my final honors class at university, being a colloquium of utopian and dystopian literature. So I just learned a lot about it. And then later on, when I came to New York and went to FIT, I took a fashion theory course, and we got to do our final project on whatever we wanted to do. And I was like, could I do it on fashion dystopias?
Yeah.
And they're like, yes.
That's amazing.
So what, can you summarize the project? That sounds fascinating.
Yeah, we're like...
So, yeah, it was completely open-ended on anything we wanted to do, and I just want to go through different iterations of fashion in media, and dystopian media, and see if there was a common thread.
Yeah.
I didn't really find... what I found was kind of interesting is that it was more about the architecture, less about the fashion itself, that they really focus on, because dystopias always focus on things that really have to do with the spirit, and so they're trying to always set it in a place that's sort of nondescript from the world around us, because that kind of makes it, and I was just rereading over my paper, which is why I'm going into this.
No,
but
please.
That's great, yeah.
This is amazing.
I buy it, though.
So
I think there is a lot of, kind of like, often like Soviet style, that brutalist architecture is real common in a lot of like dystopias.
Blade Runner is kind of like a...
Or the super futuristic Shanghai style, but always very dark and smoggy, I guess. It's
Yes.
like a dystopian Jetsons. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Or even like going back to Clockwork Orange, like the brutalist style is all over that film, and then you get out into the countryside, and the one house they go to, it's like a cottage on the outside, but on the inside, it's completely modern and of the time.
Like a trippy 70s pad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is
Ariel, I remember actually going to the. I just remember this. I went to the Sex Museum in Miami, and they actually have the sculpture that Alex beats them with in the film, the actual one.
The phallus, yeah. Oh my god, that's amazing! I saw it on people make it on Etsy, and they're like Clockwork Orange sculpture. Yeah, it's like a phallus, like rocket,
big penis.
cradle.
Yeah.
But it's that lady is so great because she's like, oh, my art. She's like, oh no, like my precious, and he's just like.
The cat lady.
Yeah, is she the cat lady?
Yeah, the cat lady's the one they kill. The couple lives in the cottage though.
Right.
They're different.
Yeah.
Different
Right.
nights.
Yes, the cat lady that has the penis.
Yeah.
The cat lady has the penis maybe. But yeah, the writer and his wife live in the cottage, also in the countryside.
Which is it's also interesting because later on, the widow husband has a male partner.
Yeah, the writer has a very sexy male who is carrying him around his apartment.
Fun fact, that is Darth Vader, not the voice, but the body.
That's the actor who played
the one who
the actor who played Darth Vader.
The actor who is in the suit.
And he's a big guy. He looks like he's probably 6'4", and because Darth Vader towers over everybody else in Star Wars, so that was his body. Yeah.
That reminds me of another. This film leans into dystopian, utopian area, but it's not really. The Day the Earth Stood Still.
Yeah.
Because the guy who is in the Klaatu, the robot suit, he was purely picked for that role because the director hadn't gotten anyone yet, and he was going into a hotel on Hollywood to go to a bar, and he saw this 7-foot-something guy, and he was like, "I need you in this film, please."
Yeah, nice.
I love that.
That's how you get cast, yeah.
So what are some I would say tropes or what are the common threads? So you said that they don't. Tell us.
Besides the architecture, going into fashion, some common threads are always, if they ever talk about fashion, they talk about a uniform. That's always very common, of course. I definitely pulled a lot out of The Handmaid's Tale, and this was before the show was on, so this was just the book. And the book, if you've never read it, Margaret Atwood is actually a poet, the author, so she brings a lot of that great imagery, poetry into the book, into the novel itself.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, we were just about to touch on that, but it is the series they made the bonnets, they made them very
like blinders for horses almost.
Yeah, they're much bigger, I feel than I picture them.
Because I have a portion from the book actually in my essay here, which actually is great for talking about that.
Nice.
This is to be that guy. This is page
No, do it.
8
Be that
9.
We are so thrilled. This is so fascinating.
I love citing myself. It's always great.
Exactly.
Because you see here.
I wish I had the Adam ruins everything little blurb come up and just.
Yeah.
We could pin a comment. So go read to us from here. Yeah.
So, red shoes, flat heeled to save the spine and not for dancing. The red gloves, everything except the wings around my face is red. The color of blood, which defines us. The skirt is ankle length, full, gathered to a black yoke that extends over the breasts. The sleeves are full. The white wings, too, are prescribed issue. They are to keep us from seeing, but also from being seen. A sister dipped in blood.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that is... Yeah.
Very poetic.
In the ranks...
And super descriptive. The whole cut of the dress and everything.
Yeah.
Completely defined.
In the fact that all the different, types of women had different colors, different uniforms. The green... the wives were they wore the green the teal outfits. I think
in the book it's blue, and admittedly I've actually not seen the Hulu series.
Yeah,
so you're the expert there.
I just looked at pictures of it. I was like, oh, that looks like teal to me. But I think there was someone, I forget who it was, some like celebrity. She had this like viral tweet of a dress that she had just bought for like an award ceremony, and she was like, oh, what are they called? The men, the commander. She's like, the commander is just gonna love this, like, because it was like a dress in a very similar style.
Yeah, they are Commander Fred, I think. Is that right?
Well, her Offred's commander is Fred, and then you're just like,
because he's of Fred.
Yeah, of Fred, and then there's
Yeah.
And also, that speaks actually to an older Victorian idealism of the women as not only the sexual partner, but also sort of the ornament for the man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And how the women would dress up. And they would never really dress up for the men, if you notice. It's always they would dress up for the other women. And that's how the men would communicate. They would communicate through their wives and show off their power through their wives. Because men would always just have like they would pretty much wear the same thing that every other man would wear.
Yeah, which is, I mean, that's what it is. If you look at the Oscar, I was just thinking award ceremonies, like, men are just like tuxedo, pretty much. And then, like, it's always like, what kind of dress?
Well, things are changing with, like, Billy Porter and stuff. It's like, you've got great fashion going on. But yes, you're right. Historically, it's just who has the sharpest looking tux. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's very similar. But
there was one woman who we studied in fashion theory, and she just loved men's suiting. She said it was the pinnacle of fashion. And I can see some of that in the tailoring aspect, but you also have great tailoring in women's clothing as well. So I was not a big fan of that essay.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, there's far more challenging and interesting tailoring, I think, in women's clothing.
So
men's clothing is big shoulders, you know, small.
Well, it depends on which part of the world you're from. Definitely Italian and American tailoring, you definitely want the bigger shoulders and like just a broader body in general. But actually, French and British tailoring, they really kind of like to slim the body down.
Yeah, and then like Trump is the epitome of like an American suit because he just looks like a box, basically. It's like a large rectangle rolling around.
Yeah.
Playmobil.
I mean, whatever you want to say about the guy, he has a great tailor because when you see him without a suit on the golf course, his body just looks completely different.
Yeah,
it's true. Yeah, you cannot tell how fat he is in his suits. So.
Yeah.
Sorry, Anne, you're making me nauseous.
She's like,
I was gonna say
credit where credit is due.
Yeah, I was gonna say you were talking about the like uniforms though, and the emphasis on that because so much dystopian future is like. It's always like a fascist like state or whatever. So they've always got their like even Fahrenheit 451. That movie is like they have their stupid silver helmets. All the firemen have their like uniforms they wear.
Yeah.
Right. Star Wars, sort of dystopian.
Oh no, I'm
really
a stormtrooper.
Like well, you're sort of a stormtrooper.
Well, no, but that was like a joke. Mookie Thompson. Show. Yeah, there was this comedian who used to like he was saying that. Wouldn't it suck if you woke up and you looked down and you were wearing the stormtrooper armor and you were like,
oh no.
You were like, oh no, I'm one of the. And you'd hear the you're like, what's that music? Always like the Imperial.
We were talking about one of the first dystopian films was Metropolis. Right?
Oh yeah.
I also watched Metropolis for this paper.
And tons of like brutalist architecture in there. Also some like crazy, futuristic sci-fi. Giant spanning crazy stuff, but a lot of like gears and stuff in the underworld. But then they all have uniforms, like Well, and then the surface dwellers look like hippies, basically. They have long flowing gowns.
Yeah,
it's very Morlocks and Eloy or whatever, I guess.
Yeah. What's another? So we have uniforms. We have like nondescript architecture. Or like,
and the other thing was, and this is a little bit Metropolis and also in A Brave New World, and then a lot of post-apocalyptic sort of fiction. You have it not talked about so much, but it's always sort of about how wealth can sort of play off of something, and maybe you just are able to buy a nicer fabric. Like, everyone is still allowed to be creative and allowed their own thing to make their clothing, but then it gets into, can you actually afford like the silk lame, or do you have to go for like a polyester lame, or what part of the spectrum are you on? And that's where you sort of break down into the classism.
Oh yeah. Oh, so it's a ton about class. Yeah, like class. I think that's the general like the vibe that we're.
Dystopian societies are always very unequal. It seems like.
Yeah.
They're always like often fascism or communism or some like super unequal, government taken to an extreme.
But
or there just is no government. It's like the road, and like everyone's just in a post-apocalyptic wasteland. And then I think they just wear a lot of wool because they're very functional.
They're going to Burning Man. They're steampunk.
I'm just thinking Cormac McCarthy's The Road. It's just like, you imagine they're just wearing rags, basically.
Yeah.
Just everything is the color of ash, and it's very sad.
Yeah.
We were saying at the very beginning, like the way that you can make a dystopia in your mind is you picture a utopia. You picture one thing that you're like, we need to like fix this problem, and then you picture all the stuff that would have to happen underneath that. And then
your unintended consequences.
Yeah, so like Animal Farm, they started everything equal, and then very quickly it turned into like a dictatorship. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's just really him. Animal Farm's funny because he just took history as it actually happened, basically, and then made an allegory, right?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, Marx and Trotsky, like, or Lenin, like, even these like high-minded ideals that like could have worked, but then Stalin. In practice,
like, that's a great idea. Let's do it. Yeah. He's like, actually, I had that idea. Let's kill you, and then.
But yeah, uniforms are a very big part of it, though, right? And,
so, what would your uniform be? That's, I think, if you. Like, what would be your uniform?
Because the Nazis knew fashion so well, right?
Yeah.
They knew the power of the impression of the self-image,
Armani
and if you look good, you feel good, and they made their people feel really good about themselves and said, okay, we're going to give you this, and we're going to give you all of this other great earthly wealth and possessions, and allow you to be better than you were. And speaking to that, that's a little bit the fault of the rest of Europe, because after World War I, they all kind of dogpiled on Germany, and they were really shitty to them.
Yeah.
And that's what allowed the rise of Hitler to tell the German people, no, you're actually great, you're wonderful. He was kind of like RuPaul.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
That's a very reasonable summary of that, like, that little period of history or whatever. Keynes wrote a lot about that. Yeah, just the poverty that was in Germany after like World War One. Led to.
But what would your uniform be?
Because my favorite dystopia is A Brave New World. Mm-hmm. If we had to pick one to live in, that would be mine. I would just really want to kind of like Baz Luhrmann Gatsby this thing and have like the A's just be like completely decked out in the finest things possible. Mm-hmm. The B's, they get to still wear like nice cottons and linens, more natural fibers, but more closer to the earth, not as refined. And then the C's are probably in the polyesters and the chemical blends.
I love that. Oh, that's amazing. Yeah. That's so good. And then there should be a fashion only, like a fashion centered.
No, we didn't. Not to interrupt, we didn't bring up Gattaca yet, even, which has phenomenal fashion in the film Gattaca, which is a weird genetic dystopia, right? But there
should be like a fashion
really
only.
Phenomenal 50s style kind of fashions throughout that.
Where like someone tries to like infiltrate the A's, and they have like a really good like polyester.
Really good polyester.
Wait, there actually is there's a comic, and it was penned by somebody famous. I think it's called Beast. It's it's yet another retelling of Beauty and the Beast, but it is a fashion dystopia. The entire world is actually run by a fashion designer and his family. But it's sort of it was I think written by someone in the 80s in New York, so it has that sort of, it's a very dark 80s vibe to it. A lot of sex, a lot of gore. And there's kind of a happy ending though, so it's sort of a nicer dystopian.
Yeah, I will say so much. Dystopias they're always written as commentaries on the age that they're in, right?
Yeah.
So the 80s dystopias are often technology or pollution kind of run amok because they were big concerns then, right? And
Well, a few years ago we had Repo, the Genetic Opera.
Yes.
While we were while we had that big sort of meteoric rise of famous people in like the mid to late 2000s, and that was made right around the same time, and it exactly paralleled what was happening in real life.
Yeah, or so many Black Mirror episodes even deal with cell phones and social rating systems is like a really famous like Black Mirror.
Yes.
Where everybody gets like a real time rating of your like. Yeah. Yeah,
I laugh at Black. Yeah, we were Black Mirror. Oh, Black Mirror, the poor man's Twilight Zone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was a little. I've seen video essays on Black Mirror. I haven't watched it actually, but that one in particular was like, that seems like it's taken to a very extreme place.
Yeah, it's I did see that one.
Because you're going to get a 5-star review from somebody, like your mother, not someone else. Come on.
Yeah, it's really like, it's really funny. What they should have done is have it be followers instead of ratings.
To be fair, that episode preceded, China then introduced a social like rating system similar to a credit rating, which would give you access to certain like better loans and other stuff based on you not having like speeding tickets and stuff, or like after that episode of Black Mirror. So the art did precede life.
Yeah, this was literally like if someone like her friend, she was late to like a wedding shower. And her friend was like, "Oh, you're late. You're not wearing a dress. Like I'm gonna downrate you." Yeah, and then she's like, it ends, and she's like, what if I'm just gonna live on the outskirts?
I know, it's this whole destructive spiral though, because she keeps acting out as her rating drops, and then
but it should have been like how many followers you have or something like that.
But we already did that, Ariel. Yeah. We have it's not just like Instagram or Facebook. It's like LinkedIn. What is your network?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does your network allow you to get the job you want to then live the life that you want?
That's true. Or like social clout, or like people who are like, I want to be an influencer, but how do I break in?
Or even the reach of the show, despite it being the smartest thing really on all live streaming networks
with the best guests.
With the best guests, still just really growing our potential here because we're not flashing enough TNA, which we're going to work on next week in the nude episode.
Yeah.
I have a bodysuit. I will wear it. I will get on camera.
Just the nudist episode
with my COVID-19 pounds.
Yeah. Well, it's good. You have to be, just in case you catch it. You want to be have some reserves.
Yeah.
Packed away.
Like a bear getting ready for winter.
Exactly. Yeah.
So how are you doing on time here? I can't tell because everything starts at different times.
Because
not with you. We just don't want to get timed off.
Oh, we get an hour limit before the Instagram will reset on us. But we started the show late, so we're probably coming up on the end of the hour.
Yeah.
I don't think we have time to fit Anne of Chelsea on right now.
Yeah.
And everybody probably wants to run off and check the new ballot release that came in from Nevada or whatever. Apparently dropped at 9. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Georgia too.
No, Nevada. Nevada went Biden. We're still waiting on Michigan.
Oh.
So Biden is 4 points away from 270.
Oh, I thought Michigan was declared by, Fox declared Michigan for Biden earlier today, and his lead is just widening.
I'm going by what's Google, and Google's paired with the Associated Press. That's what I am reading. So
check.
Fox can say what they want.
Check if you want a different alternative view of the same facts. You can check out 538 is like an ABC affiliate. So 538 has a different analysis.
Oh
which
my
I
gosh!
like a lot.
Oh my
and
gosh!
then Bloomberg.com actually has a really great graphic. They're doing a really good job.
I have a new
presenting
1 minute hate.
I'm sure. As we nerd out, we're in our own dystopian reality right now.
My
terrible.
partner, the love of my life, is boring me to death by just listing websites. I'm just gonna go inside my bowler hat right now.
Let's go use the bathroom and let people check the results or whatever. We'll get a drink.
Bye, guys.
Thanks so much for checking in. This was phenomenal.
Thank you so much. Like, oh my gosh, this was like my mind
super
is
educational
blown.
though, and I'm thinking about everything now. I'm gonna reread or like go think about all these books and stuff I've read where I kind of just didn't think about the design and fashion that's going on.
And we'll be back in like 5 minutes to talk about Handmaid's Tale and
we're gonna
Animal Farm. And
we're gonna post this half of the episode for everybody out there.
Yeah.
And we'll,
he's gone.
We'll see you all
let's pose real
in a
quick.
couple minutes. Okay,
let's show our eyelashes. Oh, let's drink our milk.
Our Moloko Plus.
Okay. We'll be back in 5, guys.
It's my penetrating gaze. For those of you on Twitch and Instagram, hold on a sec. I have to figure out how to go back to our loading screen. So I'm going to do that, and then we're going to keep this running.
Take a look at this really quick.
Okay, now it's back to stream starting, and I'm going to switch your audio.
Should I start it?
There was me, that is Alex, and my 3 droogs, that is Pete, Georgie, and Dim. And we sat in the Corova Milk Bar trying to make up our razoo dogs what to do with the evening. The Corova Milk Bar sold Milk Plus.
No, you
Milk
didn't.
Plus Velocet, or Synthemesc, or
Ann is up
Drancrum,
next.
which is what we were drinking. This would sharpen you up and make you ready for a bit of the old ultra-violence.
And then it just ends.
It's like, whoop!
It's,
I will send you the link. Yes.
Oh
Oh yeah. So, welcome
back.
to Question Block, or welcome back to Question Block. We are talking about dystopian fiction,
films,
books,
and fashion.
dystopian thoughts,
Okay.
like Black Mirror.
So yeah, for David Ray Martinez, that was the opening of A Clockwork Orange. I will say this: you start watching that film, and just the intro, you're like, "This is going to be awesome." The opening scene,
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I have in my photos.
is creepy and super cool and gorgeous, and you're just like, I have to know what happens.
Yeah, this is
It
like
really is a great film.
that's
You're just sharing a picture.
That's like the bar that they're in with
the
the.
Corova Milk Bar. Everybody drinking off these mannequins.
Yeah. I'm trying to see. Yeah, no, that's the only one that I have.
And the bouncers wear super tight white spandex uniforms.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, I'm getting rid of that.
Ma'am, if you could please touch.
There you go.
Okay.
I'm getting rid of. You have to.
Ma'am?
It's like. Oh, and we didn't talk. Even we kind of touched on like the language. What is it? Nadsat.
Yeah, perfect. That's that.
Nadsat.
A purposeful.
Which is, it's like a, what is
What?
it? A hybrid of.
You just took a lot of Russian words and then made slang terms in his in the British English that's spoken in A Clockwork Orange. So droog is from
friend.
Is from druga or whatever, which is Russian for friend.
Friend.
And moloko, it's the Russian word for milk.
Milk.
And there's it's actually very cool is that in the novel itself, well, and in the film too, which actually copied the novel very accurately. They don't explain any of the terms. You just figure out from context.
Is freedom from or the freedom
Soviet.
to?
The freedom from or freedom to.
Oh, that was so fascinating. The last hour, Preston.
Our ending was spiked on white.
So good. I love that.
Let's get.
Wait. So
Anne.
real quick, because when
that might be Vladik there with RD.is just joined. Who helps host our Halloween extravaganza on Saturday.
So when David asked to when we were talking about him coming on today, because in our post I said something about, like, I was like, voting is horror show, because, like, yesterday you had to, like, say something about voting, or Instagram would bury your post.
Did you use the Vote 2020 tag to...
Yeah, because they were literally burying, like, every other, like, you couldn't use any.
Okay.
So, and David was like, you're talking about, like, horrible voting stories or something, but horror show actually means good. So in NADSAT, in like the Clockwork Orange, like it was real horror show. Like your outfit is horror show. Like that means like your outfit is great.
Oh, that's from more NADSAT.
Yes. So I was just putting that out there.
Oh.
Yeah. So there's a translator. Like someone made like a NADSAT translator, so you can like.
Yeah, there's not a ton of it. It's it's 2030s slang terms from Russian or whatever. But
in the movie. And in the book, he used... I think that was actually why Kubrick didn't like the book at first, because Alex uses a lot of the slang.
Yeah.
And that was, like, hard for Kubrick. He's like, I can't with this slang.
Yeah, with certain movies, I find that movies that have a young protagonist who's also a very good actor, so it's not Dystopia, but the film Disturbia, actually, which has Shia LaBeouf, which was really related to last week with horror films. But Shia was given freedom by the director. He was like, yeah, make it seem like you're 17. So, like, the dialogue is just kind of like, don't follow it. If you want to improv or whatever to make it more realistic, go for it. And I think that's in part why that movie has...
Wait, why are we talking about Disturbia?
It's a copy, but I was just saying, it's cool when, like, a film gives... an actor or actress really like poetic license to adjust the dialogue as needed, which Malcolm McDowell didn't get to do, I guess.
He didn't get to do. If you work with Kubrick, you get treated like shit. And I think he actually didn't treat Malcolm McDowell that bad, but afterwards he totally like stopped communicating with him. And Malcolm McDowell, which he does with all actors, what he's done with you, he's done. Mm-hmm. And Malcolm McDowell remained friends with his wife. Just because, they like they played ping pong for like hours at a time on Netflix.
You should get Anna.
Okay. What do we say about interrupting me while I'm talking?
Tell us about Kubrick's ping pong.
It's real quick. So, See, every time I'm interrupted, my brain dies, and then it has to come back to life, and it's like a dystopia in my head. So. Malcolm McDowell, he stayed friends with Kubrick's wife, and so when Kubrick died, that's like the only time that he was able to like reconcile the fact that they didn't speak after the movie. He like went to his grave and was like broke down and stuff like that.
Oh wow.
Yeah. All right. But yeah, that's. So yeah, I don't think that he was given a lot of creative freedom.
Was it Kubrick's last film?
No. There were like I think there were a bunch of more films. It's just like he didn't speak to Malcolm McDowell, and that like really hurt his feelings because during the filming they like bonded and they played ping pong together, which allowed Kubrick to like underpay McDowell.
Fashion Beast, screenplay by Alan Moore. Oh no! Never filmed, so it got made into a comic.
That's awesome.
Okay. Alan Moore's Sin City, I believe.
So let's get.
Yeah.
Oh, Sin
Great
City!
Comic
oh, so good. Okay.
Also, it's on Dystopia, huh? Now we're on
yes.
Let's get Anne on by popular demand.
I know. Oh, we're
Anna
going
Chelsea.
live with Anne. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm like that took way longer. We were just talking about ping pong.
Hi.
Hello. Wow, your hair
I feel
looks
like
great.
100 years old as a carvel, but how
I was
are
just
you?
gonna say your hair looks amazing.
My hair looks amazing. That's true. I'm just gonna do that then.
It looks really good. Like, damn.
I'm so tired. But anyway,
I'm sorry we
I
couldn't
brought
get
all
you.
my
We couldn't get you on the.
novels.
Wait, what is that?
These are all my favorite dystopian novels.
Okay. Margaret Atwood, The Year of the Flood. Nice.
You know she was gonna go to sleep. Oh, I know. Thank you.
And this one.
Amnesia Moon.
I have this one, Amnesia
By
Moon.
Jonathan Lethem, which is fucking amazing.
We have a copy.
Doris Lessing, Shikasta, Cannabis, and Orgo's Archives. These are, like, I think one of the 3 best dystopian books. And Amnesia Moon, for people who are more modern than me, this is really it.
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan Lethem, forget Motherless Brooklyn, I couldn't even read it. Amnesia Moon is like, oh my god. It's like Mad Max meets, I don't know, something literary. It's great.
You have amnesia about it.
Yeah, I can't even fucking remember it, really. It's just such a good book. Oh my god.
I have it. So, I got it as a birthday present from a very thoughtful friend.
From Lily?
Oh, did I give that to you?
Oh, from you?
Yeah, Anne gave it to
me.
Yeah.
Well, fucking read it. Anyway.
It gives
everyone... I just returned a book to Audible, which actually it's not futuristic, so it doesn't matter.
It doesn't have to be futuristic, so something to be like a dystopia.
As we said, many dystopias are set in like present day.
Or like a nondescript,
no, this just wasn't that genre at all. It was just.
Well, what's our criteria? What makes them? How do you know? Let's say you wake up.
As Preston was saying, it can also be freedom from, like a thing.
Oh, don't do freedom from freedom.
Well.
Do.
Yeah, it's freedom from freedom.
Don't do that.
Why?
Because.
That's not a dystopia?
I really think in our day and age, we're in a freedom to problem.
Oh, we're not talking about anything in reality. We're saying, like, if you were to create your own dystopia in a fantastic world that doesn't exist, how would you? What are the standards of a dystopia?
First of all, my face would always look like it looks right now. But secondly,
that's a utopia.
Secondly, that. I would say I would be more like a freedom from.
Okay.
Like fear. Mm-hmm. Because I want to do what I want to do, and what I want to do is not like shoot a bunch of people in the shopping mall, right? So what I want to do is just what I want to do. So really nobody else, virtually no one else is going to be involved. Mm-hmm. And so whoever's going to be involved is going to be involved.
So your dystopia, you're going to live in, you're going to have freedom from other people. You're just going to, which is like a Twilight Zone episode where the guy is like, I just want to read. You know? I don't know if you've ever seen that one.
No way.
No.
What?
A guy is trying to read and he can't be left alone to read. That's a dystopian.
No. Real quick, I will summarize it for you guys. Real quick.
I've never seen that one. Tell me.
This guy, he just wants to read. That's all he wants. And people keep bothering him, and he's like, shut up. Mm-hmm. It's like his girlfriend wants to cuddle with him, and he's like, shut up.
And he starts
a new girlfriend.
No, that was a joke. Yeah. That was a joke.
He starts a new form of government.
No. Then he goes into he's like a banker or something, and he's like in the vault, and then there's like a nuclear explosion, and everybody in the world dies, and then he comes out, and he's like, oh my gosh, everyone's dead. Thank God, I can read in peace. Like, woohoo! And then
his glasses break. Right?
And his glasses break, and for some weird reason.
Totally saw that.
He doesn't, like, feel his way around to, like, a glasses store or anything. He's just like, no! And it kind of ends like that, I think.
Ends there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's so trying.
But we were saying, basically, like, the fastest way to imagine, like, what your dystopia would be is to think of, like, what your utopia would be. And then like, see, you know...
What if you're already living, like, the best life you think you could lead? Then... What would have to happen? It would be like, you would have to be dead.
Yeah, you just invert it, I suppose.
Yeah, well, so I forget who it is. There's it's a famous author, I forget who it is. But he was one of the first people to coin the term utopia, and he wrote this essay about, like, everyone would just... like get along or whatever, and everyone have like pet giraffes, and the fish would walk or whatever, and people always, they're like, well, yeah, that's not a utopia for the giraffes. It's not a utopia for the fish.
Thomas More. That's what I was just thinking. It's Thomas More, famous economist.
So why do we have to have a utopia? Why can't we just have like a normal life that kind of works okay?
Well,
yes, that's one of the many commentaries that a lot of utopian and dystopian fiction make, is that actually living your life to the fullest, regardless of how you do it, involves compromises.
She's holding
moral of the episode, I suppose.
Yes, Reddit.
Yeah.
Like,
involves interacting with other people. I will say, right? Because how could a utopia even really work? Even visions of
what is with that? That is like that's like saying I wish I were an infant.
I just thought of something.
Indeed.
I just thought of something like so interesting. I guess
life as a human and interacting with other humans is challenging, isn't it? It's dystopian.
Tell me about it.
Escapist, I suppose. Imagine that.
Yeah, what did you say?
Living in democracy is nail biting, isn't it? Topical.
Mm-hmm. I just thought of something really interesting. Is that like in a lot of dystopian fiction, there's like an out or whatever, where like, oh, there's like an island that you can go to where like the rules don't apply. And isn't it interesting that those islands are just like regular life? Like right now, Have you ever
watched The Prisoner?
No.
Oh, definitely, Ariel. I'm sure you kind of. Anyway, The Prisoner is like this guy. He's like taken a prisoner, but it's not bad. He's like on an island. Like, they have like ice cream, and you get to go home to your house, and everything's okay. You should definitely watch it. You can definitely find it on television. It's not BBC or anything. And your dad, Ariel, loved it. And there's this thing that comes out of the water that's like a giant beach ball. And if you try to swim out, it gets
I have seen that. Yeah. I have seen that.
So that...
it's kind of like The Truman Show.
Oh, yeah?
What?
It's kind of like The Truman Show.
I haven't seen The Truman Show, but I know it's kind of like that.
It's kind of like The Truman Show, where like once... It's like when you don't know that you're part of
an experiment.
When you don't know you're a cog in a machine, you just run, but then once you know...
This guy kind of figures out he is, but he can't get out.
Yeah, I'm not a number of yes, that's where that's from.
That's right.
No man is a
It's just a psychological experiment, it turns out.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is a really good point you made, though, that the sort of cop-out of a lot of... And you were, I think, specifically referencing Brave New World.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure Preston watching, was that in Brave New World, because the alpha who doesn't fit in is, like, just... He's not... I don't find him to be a sympathetic protagonist, but he's bitching the whole time. And so it turns out that, like...
Sounds more like a beta,
what's the guy's name? Mustafa something, like the leader of the whole world.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, for alphas like you who don't fit in, you can just go to Australia. It's like cool there. We've got a world that is basically just like real life. We can just like hang out.
Yeah.
And he's like, but the savage, who he was not raised within the Brave New World as a cog in the society, and he knows Shakespeare and, has read all the classics or whatever, raised outside of society. He's like, he has to stay, though, and live in the Brave New World, because it's a cool experiment. And the savage eventually just commits suicide because he can't handle all the vapid people in Brave New World.
Yeah.
Super hipster. He's like, you're all just drugged on Soma, and you don't understand Shakespeare.
He was a beta? Yeah. And decides to be
No, I thought he was an alpha who didn't fit in. He was an alpha who was just like a little malformed. He was like a little short and a little like not blonde, and he just couldn't handle it. The main character.
Right.
Well, regardless, the island
the
that they go to,
of the island, right? It's
just regular life right now.
It betrays a lot of the story, though, right?
Yeah,
but I think Aldous Huxley was very much he was an optimist.
He was doing mushrooms the whole time he wrote it, and then he woke up.
By the way, fascinating too. Yeah, I guess earlier when I was criticizing a lot of the like 80s, I think it was really very much like kind of 80s back through like 50s and 60s sci-fi, like the pulp sci-fi stuff. So like the Ray Bradbury or like the I'm trying to think who else. Like I kind of lumped in as like not great writers or like suffering from a lot of like the things sci-fi suffers from. Your Arthur C. Clarke's or whatever, where they didn't write well-rounded characters. Doesn't really apply at all to any of the like kind of post-2000 sci-fi writers now who've picked up the torch, who tend to be pretty damn good writers.
I think so. I think they're doing a good job. I mean, not everybody, but nobody. It's not always. I just finished reading, not just, but like within the last 12 months, this book where you're in a society where it gets dark. All of a sudden, like dark, like no sunshine, right? And so, and everybody starts getting like they can't sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And they start, why they can't sleep because it's dark, I don't know, but anyway.
Yeah, it was like, sounds
I know,
suspicious.
That's backwards. But it also takes place in China, where it's called The Day the Sun Died, if anybody wants to read it. It's like this thick, and I listened to it, and it took me like 6 months.
Is it a Chinese novel that's been translated to English, or it's written in...
Yes, it's a novel that's been translated to English.
Who's the writer?
Oh, I'll have to look it up.
Is it Chi-Ching Liu?
So there's this tension in this place where when people die, the tradition is to bury them, and the Chinese government has said you cannot do that, you have to cremate them. So one brother owns a crematorium, the other one owns a funeral place, and the guy who owns the funeral place starts taking the corpse oil. So when you
corpse oil? This is good. It's taking a turn.
Right? And he starts hiding it in caves. And it's dark through the whole thing, and people are starting to kill themselves. It is like one of the craziest books I've ever listened to it.
Well, so people, if you don't want to sleep, you can.
This sounds wild.
The Day the Sun Died.
That was the thing. And
you
if
can
they
read it in
went to
Chinese.
sleep, they would start killing themselves, and they were cremated. It was like
that's
insane.
Crazy.
And then he finally realizes he can make it look like the sun's back in the sky by lighting all the corpse oil on fire.
That's horrifying. That's terrible. And that's how you get. That's how you get iPhones, guys.
Oh, it's a Taiwanese novel.
That's how you get.
Yes.
That's
yes,
That's how the electronics are. That's how Hello Kitties are made.
I just cheated and looked it up, but yeah, 2015 novel from a
cheating, it was just research.
Taiwanese writer.
It's so good. And I was on a boat in December last year in the middle of fucking nowhere, and I was telling people about the corpse oil, and like I think I was going back, and the way back was
just making small talk
about corpse oil
in Hong Kong, and I was like, I bet I could get corpse oil in Singapore
for so cheap.
And you can
wholesale.
You can buy corpse oil in Singapore and Hong Kong.
Oh, that's great. I bet it's really good for your hair.
I mean,
no, you put it in your hair. Use it for spells.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right. Some people dedicate their bodies to science, but if you believe that like magical spells and seances and whatever else,
I dedicate my body to magic.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Get some corpse oil out.
I'm gonna do it. I'm just saying, I could do it.
So, if you like were the commander, let's say, of a dystopia, what uniform would you wear, and what uniform would you make like the lower down people wear?
Oh,
I can't even hardly imagine that, because I really don't want to dominate people. But let's say in the abstract
family of
that I did, I would make all the men wear like kind of like female fetishy things, where it's really uncomfortable, and their fucking legs look fat, like it's horrible. And then
legs look fat. Yeah.
I love that though.
Look fat, you assholes. And then the women. So it's a dystopia where what the women
It's
wear.
like tight
Same
leather
thing they're wearing
cords
now.
around their fat
The
man
things,
thighs.
Their legs look fat, so I think men would just dress like women, and women would just dress the way
Like
they
women
are
would
now.
have like exquisite tailoring that was like comfortable, but made them look
Comfortable,
great.
functional, yeah, and made them look great.
It's a dystopia, so it shouldn't be fun or anything.
No, but
It's
dystopia
dystopia.
doesn't mean that it's a dystopian for everybody. It's a dystopia is just like a like we were.
Yeah.
Well, like it's basically like
I do
there's
feel
a
that.
ruling class and there's a
Yeah, well,
And
dystopias,
you
I feel are like they're bad for most. And
Yeah.
you're like, I wouldn't want to live there. Is usually
and you
the
said
take.
that you wouldn't want to rule anyone. So
Yeah.
so you're
your
ruling. Yeah,
Your dystopia. Is it your
You're
turn?
ruling
if
people.
If I don't want to rule anybody, first of all, what is going on here? If I don't want to rule anybody, then what do I do?
well, that's the thing.
I really love this world where she just switches fashion styles and modesses, and like everybody is miserable because the women are all like, my calves, like they don't I have no high heels, I'm very short now.
Like,
and just,
Well, that's.
yeah,
I mean,
and they're
that was
freaking
like.
out, and they're like, what Spanx? Like, what do I do without? But then the men are also like, the fat dudes are like, they're all walking in heels and like falling
so
over.
Like, I'm already thin. Why is this thing like sticking out like this?
But then you've got, Trump has to wear like a pantsuit and it doesn't even fucking make sense on him. It's just, it sounds pretty.
I love that. I would like him actually.
Pretty awful for everyone.
Oh, that would be cool. That would be cool if like everyone who gave you your news had to be naked. Well, they were. I think that would be like a cool. If I had a dystopia,
it's called Spanish television, babe. They do
No,
it.
no.
They have sexy weather girls. Spanish television is
I
pretty
didn't
much
say sexy. I just said naked. So that way,
like Al Roker.
just whoever was giving you news or politics has to be naked in my dystopia. That the politicians and like the people who lie, basically, they have to not wear clothes.
Gonna say, Spanish television has had.
They can lie with their words, but not with their skin.
Right, and so you'd see if they were like, "Hey, what's up?" You'd see if like, oh my god, what if like Al Roker just gets like a hard on for like thunderstorms, and you could see it like every time.
You know it's
really gonna rain because you're like,
and here I am going. Who's thunderstorms? Is that like a cartoon character?
No, like he's like the weather dude. He like hates sun. He's just like.
I don't.
Yeah.
He hates sun, as you can tell by his flaccid penis.
Sun, but I don't like it on my skin.
That's part one of my dystopia.
This sounds like the worst. The worst book.
The worst book. This is just a tiny subplot.
It's a very poetic novel. It's a major plot point that Al Roker delivers the news totally naked. Ariel's book that she's working on.
My dystopian novel.
My dystopian novel is.
Oh, and what? Yeah, so that would be all the news, all the news people. Yeah, right now we're starting it. All the news people, the and the politicians, and like.
It sounds like a Black Mirror episode. Actually, is what you're really writing is a screenplay for Black Mirror.
I guess I might have to.
Well, so Black Mirror. To put in context for all of our viewers, because I feel like this is an inside joke that we're subjecting everyone to, is that Black Mirror they have a handful of really good episodes. A lot of it's dystopian science fiction. They're all like hour-long episodes. It's a British television show. But a lot of them are very trite, kind of dumb commentaries on just like using phones, or like, what if your financial history was online and people could see it? And you're like,
what if
who cares? So you can come up, a fun game to play with friends is make up Black Mirror episodes. So it's like, what if your mate was a television?
What if the world was lesbians, but they all had long nails? That's
good.
That's my.
It's
kind of like a would you rather.
What if you had a dog, but you had to plug him in to an electrical socket because he's an electric dog? And then like shoot an hour of television about that. So.
Yeah.
Wow.
So fun game.
I don't watch TV.
Fun game. Well, You have to find Black Mirror, I guess, because it's it's on
I
Netflix.
was like, one of my friends was like,
some of them are very good. Some of the episodes are actually quite good and worth watching.
One of my friends had to watch something. Some of it first.
Preston mentioned it earlier. Actually, he was talking about a couple episodes of Black Mirror, and some of them are great. I will say they're all done by different directors, so not casting judgment on the whole series.
It's funny because the people who are really into it are like. They're so funny because they're like, but then this girl, she had to be a pig and then everyone had to have sex with her, but then they were all pigs. Like, that's, and you're just like, what? But that's literally like what the episode, that's literally what, there is an episode like that. Well, it is like a would you rather. It is like, it's like, what if your dicks were fingers, but then you but you had a finger for a dick? Like, that's literally like the next episode of Black Mirror.
I know, and everyone, and 10 million British people are like,
but that's their dicks.
That's
their dick fingers.
Watching the show, and they're like, God damn, fucking the telly is amazing tonight.
Yeah.
Okay. We're done.
What if you could never sneeze?
We're done ragging.
But you had terrible allergies, but you could never sneeze. Yeah.
So,
what if you were always in love?
Do we have anything else? Oh, and did you want to do a 1 minute hate, like a 1984 style 1 minute hate against?
Like, what do I hate?
Any one thing. So
other than anything political, though, it's got to be something absurd.
Right, not a political thing, something I hate. Yeah. Okay, I don't know if I can do a 1 minute, but.
You'd be surprised!
In 1984, they do a 5 minute hate every morning at I think Winston is the main character's name at his work.
It's like your morning scrum.
Where they're like, here's the president of East Asia, and we hate them. We've been at war with them forever.
That's and what you do at
one day they're like, we're no longer at war with East Asia. We're now at war with the Americas. We've always been at war with the Americas.
Yeah.
And now you hate this other person. So we're doing a quick 1 minute hate.
You heard David's hate on cracks?
Hardly even fucking know.
Okay.
All right. One thing I really hate is when I'm told that some package is going to arrive at a certain time, and I have to be there to sign for it. Mm-hmm. And actually, it's not going to arrive at that time at all. Like, that is not even in the landscape possibility. All right, so that's
amazing
right there.
Keep going with this. Keep going. Yeah.
And the other thing is that I will then have to stay there and wait for it to arrive. And as we know, like during COVID times, during this whole thing, a lot of shit is coming, like just arriving. And they're like, you got to be there, and you have to sign for it. Like a lot of shit you don't have to sign for. You definitely do not have to sign for, let's say, like a cake pan, which I just ordered because of my niece's birthday and her whole vegan family, and don't even get me into that. So so those things were going.
Soylent is people family, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I actually wish I could just make it out of people. I had to make it out of like shit that anyway. Yeah. So screw that. Like you have to wait for that. But then, if you order something, and believe me, I do this, wine or alcohol, where they say there must be somebody over the age of 18 to be there to sign for it, absolutely not. They just leave it in front of my door. But God forbid I order...
Frog speaker, this is for you. Little tip.
It's just on the street. They're leaving it in the gutter on the curb, probably.
Leave it on the street, they don't care. So... make up your mind, like make a rule. Like, if I have to be here to sign for it, I'll be here. Don't have to be here, don't fucking just leave it in front of my house. And if I order something for my niece, like, just deliver it when you say you're going to deliver it. This is crazy. This is COVID. We're all trying to protect ourselves, and you guys are just delivering things willy-nilly in a wacko way.
True. So that was 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah, you didn't think you could do it.
Yeah. No. We're getting the hate. We're harvesting the hate because then we can make the sun. We can undo daylight savings time.
That's a great dystopian fiction too.
Yeah. hate harvesting.
No, but like, what if?
Oh, what if the mail?
There's a package delivery service, but you ordered the package, but then you has to sign for it to be there for the package every time.
Every time.
For what?
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's true.
You never have to be there to sign for it.
It's true.
Yeah, you're like, come on, what are you doing?
I actually have a thing where if they like call to be let in to sign for something.
Oh, it calls your phone.
It calls my cell phone.
I was with you when that happened.
I could be in France.
And you buzz them, and then they're good to go.
Yeah, just come in, steal everything from the lobby, but leave my package.
Yeah, you just come in. I'm verbally signing for this thing.
Hola, Maria.
I thought of another when you said "Hola, sorry to bother you." Is that's?
Sorry to Bother You is a phenomenal dystopian fiction, actually. That's one of the better ones, actually, because it's very funny.
Yeah.
And my cousin, as you may know, was
produced it.
One of the producers of that movie.
She produced it. We'll just,
Yeah, we'll just say the. And I have like a hat. She gave me a hat that
says "Sorry to bother you."
And when I wear it around New York,
people are like, "Yes, honey."
30 goes, "I love that movie."
Yeah.
It's a great film. Good. It's a great film. It's super funny.
My favorite,
my uncle, my cousin's father was like, I didn't like it.
Well, 1 minute hate on him, if you know what I'm saying.
Well, it's great because it's
older than Trump, I think he might die soon.
Yikes.
I don't want him to. I don't care what you guys
I love that she's like, I don't want him to. Just like a true dystopia.
Who cares?
My favorite thing about that, so Sorry to Bother You. Is I guess is Get Out is kind of like a dystopia situation-ish.
They kind of look like each other, like the
Get Out. It doesn't imagine a full world.
A full world, just a household.
It's just like this one little weird New England community.
I loved it. Get Out. I was just like, fucking love this.
But yeah,
Sorry to Bother You. I had the same.
Sorry to
Bother You is the entire world is now the gig economy, basically, and it hits real close to home. And it's especially topical because California approved the proposition to make it so Uber and like other like service economy drivers or service economy workers can be classified as not employees.
As employees.
Yeah. Well, now they can be treated as independent contractors.
That coupled with the marijuana legalization, we all know what Uber.
Go to Hoboken in 5 minutes. And not because I can't get weed here, just because.
I was gonna say
marijuana legalization and drug legalization did very well last night.
No way! I was gonna make a joke. I was gonna say we all know what those Uber drivers are gonna become.
Also,
okay.
Legalized, but just decriminalized.
True.
Now my joke isn't gonna be funny.
Very important.
In Washington State, and you won't end up.
Wait. We're getting
in
to
jail for 500 years.
No. We're getting. I was gonna make a joke about how Uber drivers are now just gonna become drug delivery services because of those two things coupled together.
Oh yeah.
That was my joke, and thanks for talking over it.
That's a pretty great.
People that
that's
I love.
a pretty great joke. Oh yeah, in a state where like weed is legal, delivery services are going to be very common, I suppose.
Yes. You're gonna start Ubering your weed.
You're gonna tell a joke about that?
That was my joke.
That just
sounds like a plan.
It sounds like a real thing that's gonna happen. That sounds like a startup idea. We need to get to work.
Turn the podcast off. We've got work to do.
That's a great idea. Yeah, weed delivery service.
You get a driver's license. That's the first thing. No,
I'm not going to be driving.
No, if it's a scooter that can't go over 20 miles an hour, you don't need a license. It's great.
Trixie, stop in your.
I do have a driver's license, and I really think I should not use it.
There you go. So on that note.
We're
gonna drive off
go to your next
and continue to discuss. What we have a Durango, a Dodge Durango, which is what Alex DeLarge steals.
Dodge Durango. What?
That's what Alex DeLarge steals.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he steals a Dodge Durango, I believe, and it's in Suffragette City. The David Bowie song is about Alex DeLarge, and so is Never Gonna Stop, and they both reference the car.
That's a deep cut.
Oh, I'm like a huge Clockwork Orange fan.
Nice.
I like Clockwork orange too, but I didn't realize that you like it so much more.
I did not even
you
pay
know
attention
more about it.
To those songs. I like listen to them backwards.
Or know the media that references it. So.
Yep.
Nice.
Right. Okay. I'm gonna let you. You're gonna let me go, and I'm gonna let you go.
But
right.
yeah. Oh, another great dystopia. We'll talk. Yeah. All right. Never Let Me Go.
Okay. Bye for now.
That's
Remove and the people. So yeah, Never Let Me Go is about organ harvesting, and it's so creepy.
The true dystopia is having to sign off with that.
Yeah, it's true.
Imagine. You've told me a lot. Never Let Me Go is one of your fave movies, right?
Yeah, it's
fave films, and it's a novel
I think it's
as well.
a novel, yeah.
And about organ harvesting and people being grown as sort of like just organ donors for aristocrats, and the very sad life of organ donors.
It's so creepy because it's like they're all raised in like an orphanage because they're clones, but they're like all the
no one tells them what's going on.
No one tells them what's going on. They just think that's where they just think that's how all kids live.
Yeah.
And then there's like little whispers or like rumors about your match or like because you have like a genetic twin that's better than you in the other real world.
You know, an aristocrat who living out there.
Yeah, and they call it donating, like when you're like about 20, your match starts harvesting your organs until you die, and then they continue. It's not.
Yeah, it was very similar.
Called the Island's really similar, and I was like, wait, is it with Ewan McGregor? Because it's also like a British. It's with not Natalie, Keira Knightley, I believe, is in it. But basically there's like a love triangle between these like teens, and it's like the one who isn't like the girl who's not meant to be with the boy. She just like gets with him because she's a bitch, and then like the other one who's really meant to be with him is like kind of too much of a pushover to say anything, and then they like it's a race against the clock before their like organs start getting harvested to like see if they can get released, because there's like a thing where like if you do find true love, there's a rumor if you find true love they'll like excuse you, they'll pardon you, and so they're like going to find the person to pardon them so they can actually like fall in love.
Yeah.
And it's so creepy because like just the casual wording that they use for like the organ, they're like she started donating, and then they go to visit their friend who's like started it, and like their friend is like missing her eye, and then like their friend is like missing an arm, because it's like they just keep taking. So creepy and like good. It's so good, but also crazy. Yeah, it's funny. Clockwork Orange does not like affect me viscerally or like negatively. I just think it's a beautiful movie.
Doesn't have the body horror aspect of this.
But this movie, it's visceral. I'm just like, oh, and like the love. It's like, oh.
Yeah.
That's another thing. A lot of dystopias.
There's very few happy dystopian films.
Brazil.
Yeah, that was one we didn't get to yet.
Yeah.
Well, Brazil isn't happy, but it's whimsical.
It's
certainly
whimsical.
It's this
font. It's this font.
Comic Sans.
Can I just say, our friend Kitschy, I was like, can you guess what theme we're doing today? And she goes, by the backdrop, she goes,
Powers.
Austin Powers?
Nice.
I was like, yeah.
That's great. They do the same. It's so 70s.
Yeah.
The font. That's amazing.
Yeah. But yeah, Brazil is very whimsical, especially because everything in that movie is like, it just doesn't fucking work, which normally like just like, you know, there's the dystopias that are very sleek and where everything is like very
like Gattaca or whatever.
Yeah, stuff. Even like the telephone ring in Brazil is like the most annoying fucking ring. It's like it's like it's just like terrible. You can find like the most annoying ring on your phone. It's like super annoying.
Well, because Brazil is very much, we were saying it's a reference to another dystopian fiction or The Trial, right? Which is kind of like Yeah, it's everybody's dystopia is different, which is like amazing because Kafka's dystopia was bureaucracy, and Brazil very much borrowed from that like very heavily. So the dystopia is just the bureaucracy of government and like a judicial system, or like the insanity of Brazil.
What would your dystopia be?
It's a good question.
Like, what's one that would affect you? Like, that? What's your thing?
Yeah,
your zeitgeist? What's the
like
zeitgeist of your dystopia?
Pick the thing I feel kind of the inverse of what you said earlier was pick like the thing that you most love and then invert it.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But I like the pick the thing that bothers you and just magnify it to become an all-encompassing society.
So people being afraid of the subway.
Is that what I said? That's the thing that annoys me. What if there's a world and everyone
the subway
is
beautiful, but no one has ever seen it, nor do they believe you.
Pretty good dystopian. I just wrote it today. The train came in 2 minutes, and they're like,
"What if everyone is late because
get out of my house? Get out of my home. You rode the subway to get here."
What if everyone is taking Ubers, but the Ubers is delivering drugs and they won't take the subway?
It's too expensive, and it's raining, and the Ubers is all crashing, and it's driven by drunk drivers. But you say, "Can we just take mass transit, please?" And they say, "And it's free now. It's free. We don't even have to pay to take it." And they say, "No."
What if comedians
get out of my home
for your comedy show because they is afraid to go outside?
Booking a comedy show, it's just not.
And
every comedian cancels before you book them, and you start messaging.
Because they is afraid the world is too depressing.
Yeah, things that will make my head explode.
Your head just be like the cover of Brazil.
Dystopia for me, I suppose. What if? Yeah. What's the question?
Mine would be, what if your boyfriend is reading the longest novel that's most interesting and you just want to go to bed, but he's too interested in the novel to cuddle you. But you can't fall asleep till he finishes the novel.
Oh no. That's more of a horror film. That's maybe a good distinction to make, I think. Dystopian fiction often is society level. That's like Hunger Games.
What if everyone
1984
is
stuff.
reading a novel?
Horror films are a personal dystopia. So
what if everybody...
You can almost... Fun game to play is just take the plot of any horror film.
Yeah.
Halloween. with like Michael Myers, a serial killer.
Just scared.
And it's just, what if all of
there's just the scaries and the scarers. It's just, there's just people that...
Isn't The Purge. Which
true!
The Purge is a dystopian fiction, but it's just, The Purge is, the beauty of The Purge is that it's just a horror film magnified to a society-wide level. That's all it is.
Yeah.
All it is like, oh, you can just stalk people and hunt them down and kill them on one night. All of society. And so everyone's like, oh, so it's a dystopian fiction.
Yeah, it's... Oh my gosh. Yes.
Clockwork Orange, the reason it's so scary is because Alex is treated as redeemable and normal and then becomes a celebrity at the end. So, but he's just a symptom of larger society, and that's what really scared Anthony Burgess.
Yeah, it's... Well, Anthony Burgess was like, I just want to leave my family with some cash. He was like, I'm scared that my children are going to become garbage. Yeah.
No one can write a book that's like that well written and that like cool and that like influenced. The whole like Rush, like that wasn't just some pulp piece of crap that he wrote. I think a lot of it though, whole, like Russian slang that he wrote, the Nadsat, like it's a great novel.
But I think a lot of it was like, for his kids and for the future, and I think that's why he. Because
he didn't do it for money. He did it because he wanted to leave a legacy of like you can reform yourself.
Yeah, for his kids. And
here's what happens if you embrace the ultra violence.
And the thing is like the parents in that book have no clue like what Alex is doing until
he's arrested.
He's arrested, yeah. They like he feigns like being. He's like, Mom, I can't. Like, I'm sick. You know, it's really. I've got to stay in bed.
Have an orgy with these girls from the record shop.
Yeah, these children from the record store eating lollies.
The lollipops are shaped like penises.
They are, and one is like bent, which I think is so funny. And he's like, Yeah,
those
he
girls
says
knew what
they
those
knew
girls
it.
knew what
Yeah,
was up. At least
they're
in the
like
film.
blink blink. Yeah.
In the novel, he drugs and rapes them.
No, I think. Well, in the novel, they're much younger. That's what makes it messed up. They're like 10.
Yeah.
But in the movie, there's so much pubes in that movie. It's like insane. There's pubes on the mannequins, which I think is so funny.
It was the 70s.
Were there pubes on the mannequins in the 70s?
They're bright and kind of technicolor with like day glow.
But that would be so weird because mannequins are just meant for wearing clothes. So like they're like, okay, I'm gonna make this plastic mannequin, but first a merkin. Like, but then we'll put the skirt. Like, yeah. I mean, like we're all mannequins.
No. Having watched the Corova Milk Bar scene, they really get the placement of the pubes correct. Yeah, you've got the shot.
I have the shot, the pube
shot. Let's see the. Take us to the videotape.
The pube. Where's this?
May have passed it. Yeah. Back there. No.
Right there. Boom. There it is. Yeah, it's actually like right.
Well, you're gonna get us kicked off Instagram.
Well, actually, everybody's like censoring it. In fact, when the wave emoji is like perfectly covering.
Wait, that's not what's going up on our feed, is it?
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's okay. Before you start touching things.
Okay.
Before you start.
Well, I'm glad we settled that argument that pubes were big in the 70s.
Yeah.
And dystopian fiction is just a horror movie magnified to all of society.
So pubes were big in the 70s. That's the biggest dystopia of them.
I think we have our takeaways for the evening.
Wait. So what would your uniforms? Let's just go over real quick.
Sorry, just trying to steer us to final thoughts.
Yeah, final thoughts.
We may be near the up on our time. So, final thoughts. What do we got? I think we're out of guests.
Yeah, we are well out of guests. Oh, so we're doing a dystopian rave.
Oh, you're doing
this Saturday. Let's get the plugs in. The plugs, real important. Dystopian.
Dystopian rave.
Dystopian
the music
rave.
Will be utopian, but the themes will be dystopian.
Yes.
So, yeah, references to a lot of
and we'll have some of these movies playing.
Classical films, and I'll be playing them on the green screen.
Yeah, so, David, if you haven't seen Clockwork Orange, I will send you that link, or I think you got it on Netflix.
You found it on Netflix.
But you can watch it behind Dr. Wires.
Yeah, y'all can see us
some
basically,
cubes.
Yeah, an homage, basically, Ariel and DJ dance music set homage to dystopian fiction.
Yes. So you can see that this Saturday.
Shout out also to Spiked on White, who does very cleverly influenced DJ sets as well. And so we do appreciate his very cool, inspired DJ sets.
Especially Twitch people, go.
Love a DJ who chooses a mood rather than a genre.
Yeah.
That's
what dystopias are all about.
Yeah. Well, it's not just like, no, I'm not just going to play...
Okay, wait. Let's not.
Subsequent plugs.
No, those are the plugs. Oh, next week we're taking a week. We're taking a week off. We're taking a little vacay next week, but we're gonna have I think we're having a Thanksgiving one and one after that. So we're taking Thanksgiving early, and then we're gonna
in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks. So what would your dystopia be?
Oh, my personal.
What would it look like? What would it taste like?
We named a couple like potential ones. So,
what would your uniform be?
That's the thing. I suppose mine is because I'm such a. For me, what would kill me, I suppose, is I'm such a logical, rational person. For me, prevailing logic, or like rationality on people in a lot of situations, and thing that ever really pissed me off more than anything, where I'm like, no, you have to understand like this, and then this, and then this. So that's like why we have to do this, and then the person like. Yeah, I don't know about all that.
That would be, it's like idiocracy, kind of. That would be your...
I suppose it really would be a lot of idiocracy. Yeah, when they're watering the plants. He's trying to just get a drink. Can I just get some water? And that's like, what?
They're like from the toilet?
From the toilet? No, just, like just to drink. He's like... Yeah, something like that.
Oh, something that would piss you off is like where everything had to be outsourced to like an expert. Like it had to, like you would be arrested if you didn't take your computer to like tech serve. Like you couldn't fix anything yourself.
Oh, licensing. DRM, whatever.
That would kill you. That would literally kill you.
They're called modern warranty agreements. I commit crimes every day by ignoring the end user licensing agreement.
cutting those
And
tags off the
I
mattresses.
do not care. I cut tags off the mattresses. I'm opening the laptop myself. I'm opening the iPhone. I'm voiding the warranty. I've got an open mixer on the floor right over there. We don't care. Don't tell them.
And what would your outfit be?
That's my dystopia. What would be
What
the
would like
outfit?
set you apart?
That's the thing. If anything, like a common outfit for me is like wearing all these utilitarian clothes and like gloves so I don't electrocute myself. So it'd probably be the opposite of that. So everybody's just wearing like a sloppy waterbed.
No, just shit like with extra sleeves and pockets and like just like mad extra shit.
Everybody has capes for some
Or
reason.
like, but just like subtle extranesses where you have one extra button but no extra hole, and you're just like, does this fucking match up or not? Like
non-rational
like
stuff.
half a pocket, like you know those fake pockets, like not even a fake pocket, but like half of one with a hole in it.
Yeah, I like
like
the idea
a Sarah
that
Winchester
I
outfit.
like the idea the clothes are extra dangerous though too. So they have a lot of flappy stuff that will get caught in like car doors
Or like
wheels.
Pockets that when you're doing levers that your fingers get caught in your.
No, the pockets don't work though. The pockets are all just like the fake just slits that then it just drops right down the inside of the leg, or they're sewn shut.
Yeah, like your astronaut suit.
Yeah, like my non-functional costume astronaut suit.
Yeah.
It's a dystopia every time I'm inside that thing.
Yes.
How about you?
Okay. So yeah, the outfits.
Only fine for you for your dystopia, yeah.
So yeah, for my dystopia, I think it would be. I mean, that's the thing. If it's the one where I'm in charge, it had all the news people have to and like right, they all have to be naked and like everything has to be like you have like 5 minutes of absurdity every day. Like if you get too like real or literal, you get like tased basically.
This sounds like you.
That would be like if I was in charge, right? So, but like if it was like a dystopia, like if I was on the bottom rung, like so if it was a hell for me, I guess it would be like the opposite of that, where like you're forced to watch the news, like every house has to, like basically like a communist state, where you have to have like a TV in your house and like you can't be ridiculous. Like if you're ridiculous, you like have to be serious and time out or whatever.
I like your previous idea where everybody is basically a stand-up comedian working on their tight five.
Yeah,
just like throughout their lives constantly, and they're just like just jerking the subway like to start and stop, and they're like just goofing with you constantly.
Yeah,
and you're like,
every day is like April
You're
Fool's.
like, no, I fucking need to renew my passport. Like, come on.
And they're like, but do you?
The signature doesn't.
What's up with passports? What's up with your mom?
Listen to this. Okay, so let's say, and you're like, God.
Yeah.
We should write that, except nobody would read it because they would just throw the book away after 5 minutes.
Yeah, they would be like, what? It would just all be inside jokes. Oh, and the lower class wouldn't get the inside jokes.
Yeah. There is he'll never see it, but I'll shout out. There's a comedian, Renan Hirschberg, who's written short fiction pieces that are actually, 500 words that he posts on Facebook that are like this. And they're like pretty amazing.
That's awesome.
So it's like a priest at a funeral doing a tight five or whatever. Or like just very serious situations where like the EMT doing a tight five.
Yes. Yeah. No, that's...
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. Okay, so we've ended dystopias on like a happy note, I guess, right?
As much as we could.
Yeah, as much as we could. I mean, and just know that if you feel like you're in a dystopia, just remember that it's all about the fashion, baby. And if you're wearing polyester, you're in the bottom. And if you're wearing those high-tailored suits and satins, hunty.
Then you're the problem. Top. Maybe you're the problem in the dystopia.
Yes. And if you got them from Buffalo Exchange, well then, here's to you, Mrs. Robinson.
Good night, everybody.
Bye, guys. We'll see you Saturday.
See you, Twitchers. We're gonna end the stream here. Great job.
Great job. Drink your milk.
Success, great job.
Woo. Cheers.